Hey everyone, welcome back for part 2 of the bass clef edition. Again, we have a quick review. Remember that our accidentals are any symbol that changes a pitch of a note. Okay, we have our sharp, which raises a note by a half step. It makes it higher, and it looks like a hashtag. And our flat lowers a note by half step, and it looks like a B with a flattened bottom. We do have something new we're going to talk about here. But first, let's talk about something you know that you talk about in English class, a homophone. A homophone, you know, is a word that sounds the same but are spelled differently. So homophones are words that sound the same but are spelled differently. Some examples that you may know are red and red. The color red and I read a book. The color blue and the wind blew me over. Blue and blue. Again, they sound the same, but they're spelled differently. Another example would be see and see. I see you, and Bonnie is over the ocean or the sea, right? My Bonnie lies over the sea, right? Okay, I see you or the ocean sea. Again, they are spelled differently, but they sound the same. Okay, another example would be which or which. Which way is the high school? And look at that, which Halloween costume, right? And then another example would be two, and two. Again, all spelled differently, but they all sound the same. The first two is where are you going to, right? When you're going somewhere. To the number 2, you are 2 years old. And two, which means also. I too love ice cream. Now, why do I bring up homophones if this is music class? Well, in music, we have something that is similar to a homophone. It's an enharmonic. An enharmonic are not words that sound the same, but they're notes that sound the same but are spelled differently. So before, we had words that sound the same but are spelled differently, and now we're dealing with notes that sound the same but are spelled differently. And I'm going to give you a few examples of those right now. Okay, so the first example is here. G flat and F sharp. They sound exactly the same, even if I play them on the bass clef. G flat and F sharp. They sound exactly the same. If you look at the keyboard, I'm playing the same key, but they're spelled differently. G flat, F sharp. G flat, F sharp. G flat, F sharp. The next example I have is A flat and G sharp. That's the treble clef. And then here's the bass clef. Another example would be B flat or A sharp. That's on the treble clef, and that's on the bass clef. They sound exactly the same. Another example would be C natural and C sharp. C natural and B sharp. Excuse me, I said the wrong thing. Sorry, I'll do that one again. C natural and B sharp. Now notice there's no black key there, but remember the sharps move to the right of the note. So this is still an enharmonic. Moving on to the next one, we would have C sharp and D flat. Again, they sound exactly the same, but they're spelled differently. Next, we would have D sharp and E flat. Here's what they sound like. Or in the bass clef. And in the treble clef, as written on the staff. And again, F natural is the same as E sharp. And that's what it would look like on the keyboard. F natural, E sharp, F natural, E sharp. And then I didn't give examples on the staff here, but if you look at the keyboard, B natural is the same as C flat, and E natural is the same as F flat. These are all examples of enharmonics. Okay? Remember our accidentals, again, just a review. If we had A and we wanted to make it A sharp, we would move up to the right on the keyboard. If we had B and we wanted to make it B sharp, we would move to the right on the keyboard, which would look like a C, right? If we had E on the staff, we wanted to make it E sharp, we would move to the right again on the keyboard to the next available note. And if we had a G and we wanted to make it G sharp, again, we would go up a half step. All right. And then here are what some line notes would look like. Some flat notes. G flat. Our C. And if we went down a half step, we would go to C flat, which is also B, right? D, E flat. We would go down to the left, right? Or A, go down to A flat on that keyboard. All right, go ahead and do the next assignment in Google Classroom on accidentals.